Hello and welcome to This Inspired Life. My name is Andy Taylor, and as promised in my previous video on self-care, this is the follow-up to that where I told you I'd be back with my empowering questions. Now, the reason I've written them down is the fact that they are recorded. What I did for my own personal self-care routine is that I used a variety of resources to create my own audio stroke video recording that I just put on in the morning, sit down, cross-legged, looking out the window, close my eyes, listen to this, and it's so impactful, it's so powerful because it's your voice. So it's my voice reading these questions with a background track of calming, soothing meditation music, so really calm music, and also binaural beats. I decided that some time ago, I decided to experiment with binaural beats, and it's been really effective. I've found them extraordinarily effective. So if you want more information on binaural beats and how to put them together and how to create them, and even how to record your own audio and video programs for your own self-care, then just drop me a comment below and I'll certainly I'll look at putting videos together to show you how to do that. The resources I used for the audio was a free resource called Audacity, which you can download at audacity.com, I think, and also a video editor for a lot of my own videos that don't get published, called OpenShot. Now these videos that you see me on, like this one, these are edited in Adobe Premiere Rush because I have access to the full Adobe Creative Cloud suite. So hey, but what I do in Audacity, I can input these recordings and edit them and cut the end off, cut the beginning off, and just make them nice and tidy without any massive gaps or errors. So you can do that in Audacity very easily. Also, you can create tones. You can generate tones in Audacity, which is where I generate the binaural beats. So without further ado, that's the techie stuff out of the way. I'll take you through my questions. And like I said, I've written them down on these cards just to make it easy for me, so that I'm not stumbling my way through as I try and remember each one. So what I did personally is I came up with a number of categories, a number of areas that I wanted to work on, that I wanted to reaffirm my self-belief in, and actually have the universe have my back and help me in those specific areas. Now, these are in no specific order. These are just literally, I just picked these up off the desk. So they're in no specific order, but the first one is keeping and multiplying money. Okay, so just a bit of background on it, and I'll do this for each one, bit of background. What it means, what I'm saying when I say keeping and multiplying money, is my ability to hold on to and to make money work for me. And as you see by the actual question, that's exactly what I've targeted. So the question that I asked myself in the area of keeping and multiplying money is, why am I so good at saving and investing money so that it works for me, multiplying quickly? So I'll say that again. Why am I so good at saving and investing money so that it works for me, multiplying quickly? That's a really good question I asked myself in that area, because it's going to help me build that part of my life, that part of my psyche and my character. So the second one that I've got here, like I say, they're in no particular order, but it's actually on making money. So on the subject of making money, in that kind of area, the question I ask myself is, why do I have such a natural gift for developing creative income streams and opportunities? I love that question, and it was it flowed from me. There was no sitting and thinking. Actually, thinking about it, there was no sitting and thinking too hard for any of these. I literally just wrote the first question that came into my head, because generally speaking, that comes from your intuition, right? So your first thoughts on anything generally come from your intuition. And sometimes it's worth like sitting with something and seeing how it goes, but most of the time your intuition's pretty much cock on. So the third category that I've got here is inspiration on demand. So bit of background to this. I'm a huge Mind Valley fan. And I love Vishen Lakhiani and the entire team's work and all of the presenters, all of the speakers that they get involved. And this was by watching one of Vishen's presentations actually on YouTube, and it just gave me the idea for this. And it's a case of, right, yeah, that's awesome. I fucking love that. So the question for inspiration on demand, and what inspiration on demand means to me, is never being stuck or pondering too long and finding ideas for videos and finding ideas for projects to work on and outcomes that I want. Okay, so the question that I have, that I ask myself in my recording for inspiration on demand is, why am I always able to effortlessly and easily tap into my own unlimited potential, genius and brilliance as the source of instant inspiration? So I'll say that one again. Why am I always able to effortlessly and easily tap into my own unlimited potential, genius, and brilliance as the source of instant inspiration? That's a really cool question, right? I hope you think so, because it really works for me. I'm very lucky that I have kind of been able to develop over time and be able to sit with myself and just allow my natural tendencies to come through, and my natural tendencies to help other people to produce content that's useful rather than just cat videos on YouTube. It would be so easy for me to produce a shitload of cat videos on YouTube, monetize the channel and make a fortune. But I don't do that because I don't think it's helpful. Yes, it might alleviate people's boredom, but at the end of the day, cat videos, really. So I'm more focused on me and developing me, because at the end of the day, as I mentioned yesterday in the self-care video, even if you are an entrepreneur, or especially if you're an entrepreneur and you have your own business, then you are your business. So taking care of yourself is not only taking care of you, it's taking care of the business too, because you are the source of the business. Okay, so on to the next one. Win-win relationships. I love this one. I love all of these. These are just so perfect for me, which is why these are my questions. Now, at this point, I want to make sure that you understand that these are not questions that you must ask yourself. These are ideas for you. These are hopefully inspirational ideas that give you an idea of what you can do, what questions you can ask yourself that work for you. So what are the key areas? You might be an heiress or an heir to a fortune, so you might not have any interest in making money at all, which is fine. That's totally fine. But there's always going to be something that you want to work on, right? So these just stand as guidance and guidelines and inspiration, just so you can see how I've constructed mine. And am I 100% right for you? No, maybe not. So, but the chances are that these will work for you to some degree, especially if you take them away and tailor them to your own use. So win-win relationships. Now, this one is all about all of the relationships that I have collectively. So it covers my family, my immediate family, my friends, my close friends, my acquaintances, my Facebook friends, my clients, my customers, anybody that watches any of my content. So you guys, okay, you are included in this, because I want every interaction that we have together, whether it's me on a video and you watching, or if we get the chance to meet in person, which I hope someday we do, it's the quality of that interaction that I want. This is all about creating the interaction between myself and everyone in my life, from you guys on the other end of the interwebs, wherever you are watching this, to my family that's immediately here, my fiance especially, even though she's currently 4,000 miles away. But so it goes from the very closest relationships I have, the most intimate relationship I have, to the broadest, most open and furthest relationship that I have. Okay, so that's what I mean by win-win relationships, is the fact that everyone comes out the other end of an interaction with positivity. Okay, so the question I have is, why am I always surrounded by love and amazing people who inspire me and to whom I am deeply connected? Now, just sit with that question just for a moment. Now, I'm not saying this and I'm not harping on and bragging about how good my questions are. It's just for you to recognize and give you the opportunity to really think about the message in these questions and to actually see the power and to experience it for yourself. Because when you hear that and when you ask yourself that, why am I always surrounded by love and amazing people who inspire me and to whom I am deeply connected? That just blows me away. So that is, I love having that question as one of mine. And it's just so incredible, the difference that it makes to how I interact with the world around me and the people around me, wherever I might be. Okay, the next question is going to be very, very crucial for a lot of people, especially in the situation that most of us find ourselves in right now at this point in time with the coronavirus and the protests and everything else that's going on around the world. Immunity to overwhelm. Okay, immunity to overwhelm. So basically not letting anything get to you, not letting time constraints on projects get to you, right? So just feel free and able to achieve what it is you need to achieve, what it is you want to achieve in your own good time. Okay, so the question that I have associated to immunity and overwhelm is this: how am I always able to successfully complete my projects and objectives in such a short time? So I'm wondering if you're picking up the pattern with these questions. If you've got some experience of personal development, then you may have, especially if you've studied NLP to any degree. But if you haven't, that's totally fine, because the reason these are questions and not statements is because a question worded this particular way poses a presupposition, right? So there's a presupposition that, for the instance, let's take the last one, immunity to overwhelm. How am I always able to successfully complete my projects and objectives in such a short time? There are a couple of presuppositions in most of these questions, and the one in this one that I really, it just stands out completely, is that I successfully complete my projects and objectives. But by posing it as a question, your brain doesn't have the opportunity to question it. It's not like, I am successful at completing my projects and objectives, because that voice in the back of your head is saying, no, you're not. You're a lazy bastard. You just sit on your ass playing video games rather than actually do something. Okay, whatever that might be for you, whatever your distractions are. So how am I always able to successfully complete my projects and objectives in such a short time? It brings in the presupposition, which your brain gets not confused by, but it has a tendency to buy what it's being said. So there's a presupposition that I successfully complete all of my projects and objectives. So it goes, okay, right, okay, that's what I think. So what do I need to do? What do I need to get? What information do I need to get in order to make that actually happen and prove it? So that's how this works. That's how these questions are so powerful, because there are presuppositions. And you'll notice it on this one. Now that I brought it to your attention, you've noticed on this one. This is to do with bliss. So this is just everyday bliss. This is just a sense of happiness, joy, and well-being, regardless of what's going on in the world around me. So the question I have here is, why am I surrounded by joy, happiness, and bliss, no matter what? Okay, so why am I surrounded by joy, happiness, and bliss, no matter what? Okay, and the presupposition there is that I am surrounded by joy, happiness, and bliss, right? It's really, really interesting to me how this all works, and the way the brain functions has been a source of fascination for me for getting on for 25 years now, which is when I first got into
studying personal development and coaching. And yeah, it was a little bit of a slow burner to start with, but once I really hit the sweet spot for what sparked me and what really set those gears in motion in my head, it was a case of shit, yes, I've just got to learn this. And I was avid, and I still am. I'm an avid reader. I listen to podcasts, I listen to and watch videos from everybody and anybody that's got something to say in the world of psychology, the human potential, self-help, coaching, just in case there's something that I can learn from it. Okay, it's not to critique. I don't watch other people's coaching videos or YouTube videos on personal development so I can tear it down. I watch it in case there's something I can learn. Because everyone in the world has something to teach. And it might not be something that is actively pursued. You might not get up out of bed every morning with the intention of teaching people. But by your example, by your standards, by your values, you are teaching people and you don't even realize it, because you are holding yourself to a certain standard with your interactions and how you are. So every single day you're teaching people, you're helping them learn just by watching you. Think about that one. The next one is a really interesting one, and this is kind of like one that I toyed whether or not to put in, and absolutely yes, because this follows on a video that I did a while ago, about a week or so ago, on the Matrix, and our ability to create the interpretation of reality that we want to be true for us. So this is a really crucial one, and I thought about, do I need to put that, because it's going to be a long question, and it is a long question. So I put it in anyway, and it just, the first time I listened to it just like, yes, I'm so glad it's there. And like I said, it's just such a fundamental to my own personal routine. So on creating reality, my question is this: why am I always able to complete my projects, achieve my projects, and therefore achieve my outcomes with such ease, grace, speed, and effortlessness? So that sets the tone. It doesn't do the whole job, because that's not the purpose of these questions. The purpose of these questions is to set the tone. It's to set you up for taking action and doing something that you want to do, to create the reality that you want to create the outcomes that you want to create, to achieve the projects, to nail those projects and to achieve those objectives, to get those outcomes that you want. So these questions are the first step. They create the groundwork. They do the groundwork. They create the environment in which to build and create your life by design. It's the simplest way I can put it. So please bear that one in mind. These are not catch-all, this is all you need to do. These are just setting the foundations. These are setting you up for the day. If you do this, if you make these part of your daily routine or daily ritual, however you want to say it, and you put these questions or similar ones in, then you will find that there is an incredibly powerful effect from the point of view where these present and these create the foundation from which to build. And they're really awesome. They really do work. So this is another one I got from Vishen Lakhiani, and he's got a phrase that he uses called bending reality, and I actually copied it. I'll be perfectly honest. Vishen, if you're watching, not that you will be, you're just like a megastar in the industry, but I hope you do. And yeah, I mean, Vishen Lakhiani is so good. He's so awesome as a presenter, and his mission with Mind Valley just speaks to me and touches me and just communicates positivity with me on all levels. I would so love to be involved in that, and to the point where one of my outcomes is to speak on stage at Mind Valley and to be a Mind Valley trainer. So there you go, Vishen, if you are watching. So on bending reality, why do all of my dreams and outcomes come to me with such ease and speed? So why do all of my dreams and outcomes come to me with such ease and speed?
Okay, now you might be thinking that there's a lot that is sounding the same, but there are nuances. And the nuances I kind of work into the audio more than you can tell on the card, if that makes sense, because it's tonality, it's speed of speech, so it's tonality, it's whether or not you focus on certain words in the reading of the question that makes the difference. So you can put more emphasis on certain elements of the question to bring more power to that part. And that's something worth bearing in mind. And again, if you want me to put a video together, or an instructional video or tutorial, if you like, on how to create and craft these questions the right way so that they have more impact and power, please let me know and I will be happy to do that. And the final question that I have right here in my hand is to do with flow and ease. Now, we've all been there, we've all probably seen videos or heard audios or read books about the flow state. That is what this is referring to. It's just that situation where if you are in the flow state, and we often get there, everybody has been in the flow state at some time or other, in something or other, right? So if you're doing something that you really love to do and that you are exceptionally good at, then the flow state is that state where it just seems to just click and everything just goes so naturally, so easily, and success is inevitable. Okay, so that's the flow state. So with regards to flow and ease, my question is this: why does this beautiful, benevolent universe always have my back and support me no matter what? That is a very fitting question to end this video with, because that is arguably one question that, if this was the only question you asked yourself during your morning routine, you would still be good to go. Because how we see the world, how we see the universe, affects and shapes our attitude, our mindset to everything we do, everything we think, our entire perception of the world, our awareness and our perspective, all shaped by how we perceive and see the universe. So how our mindset towards the universe. You can hear it in people's speech too. Okay, so if you know somebody, and I'm sure you do, or maybe you have been that somebody at some point in time, where the universe is against me, or it's just not meant to be, or why does nothing ever work out for me? That is a secret cry about the universe being an asshole, right? Some people, if they're creative in their speech, will come out and say that. They'll say, why is the universe an asshole? Okay, the universe isn't. It's all about how you see it. So rather than, for example, be stuck in traffic and be late for an interview because there's an accident on the freeway or the motorway, you are going to be cursing blue in that car, right? Because it's going to make you late, and then you go on this entire train of thought where you're late for the interview, you don't get the job, you lose your potential income, and you lose the house, and then you're on the street, you've got to find somewhere to live, you've got to find a job, you've got to find a way to make money. You go on this whole tangent. So you are cursing your luck, you are cursing the universe without necessarily realizing it. But then maybe you find out later in the day that at precisely 10 minutes before you got to that point in time, there was a huge accident and 2 people were killed. Puts things into perspective. So we often switch then to, oh, thank God I wasn't there earlier. If I'd have been 10 minutes earlier leaving the house, that could have been me. Okay, so it's amazing how quickly we can go from that tangent and that derailed train of thought about the universe being completely against me, making me late, losing my job, losing the roof over my head, losing the income, to thank God or thank the universe that I wasn't 10 minutes earlier. So this is, and I'll say it, I'll read it again, because like I said, if this is the one question or a version of this that you put into your daily routine, it will set you up for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week, the month, the year, for the rest of your life. If you do this every day, and this is the one question you ask yourself every morning while you're just waking to the world, and you just ask yourself, why does this beautiful, benevolent universe, benevolent is friendly, kind, compassionate. So why does this beautiful, benevolent universe always have my back and support me no matter what? Now, Sri Kumar Rao, who I've mentioned, is, like I said, he's a great professor, teaches at Harvard and London Business School and Stanford and everywhere else that you might want to mention. He's very prolific. And he actually teaches a course on Mindvalley. And as part of his training, he does talk about the benevolent universe and how it's important to see the benevolent world, the universe, the universe as a benevolent, friendly universe that always supports us and gives us exactly what we need, not necessarily what we want, but exactly what we need when we need it. So whether that's a helpful pointing in the right direction or a compassionate kick up the arse to get in motion, or holding you back from doing something that is not right for you. That's how he refers to it, and I just love that reference as well as the one that I've got for myself. So, as I said, very quick video, although this has gone for 30 minutes, so hey, my definition of quick video. But that's it for today, that's it for this video at least, and I hope it's been useful. Please let me know in the comments if you want me to do any videos on how to compose these questions, how to structure these questions linguistically. I'm a master practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming, so I know how to structure questions that work. And I'm happy to put a video together to take you through the process of constructing an effective question for your daily rituals, your daily routines. Also, if you want more information on the technology, on the techie side of things that I use to create my little audio, then again, I'm happy to share that. So just leave me a comment and I'll get right on that. But again, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot. And yeah, like the video, and I'll see you again in the next one.